Now, first of all, we have to see that the Brahmin community is a very small one in Tamil Nadu. The Dravida Kazhagam activities which are largely targeted at Hinduism. The parents are here, the children are abroad. The central government comes up with a scheme to try and tap this Brahmin community, forward community section to woo them. It comes up with a scheme of 10% reservation. This rat race that is going on between Hindu Mughal Kachhi and BJP and RSS for support from within the Brahmin community.
Hello Federal viewers, welcome to a special interview with senior journalist Mr. Rangaraj. This discussion will be about controversies related to a conference cum protest organized by Hindu Makkal Katchi, a right-wing political outfit in Tamil Nadu, where the speakers demanded legal protection for the Brahmin community in the state. Let's discuss with him. Hello sir. So, in the recent protest by the Hindu Makkal Katchi, the speakers like actor Kasturi and Hindu Makkal Katchi leader Arjun Sambat, they raised many questions and they said there is a significant exodus of Brahmins from Tamil Nadu to other parts of India and even to other countries because of the discrimination. So, can you explain to us about that? Is there a big exodus of Brahmins from the state?
Hindu Mughal Kachhi is not in electoral politics. RSS also is not in electoral politics. The BJP is the political wing, election wing of these two parties. So essentially, they are all targeting the same community and trying to gather as much support as they can. So sometimes they are also seen as a kind of a rival, they are also seen as some kind of a rebel from within the Hindu community. So the Hindu Mughal Kachhi is always trying to do something to gain the attention of the people and to be in the limelight, So that's always a struggle there. One side you have the BJP and the other side you have the Hindu Mughal Kachhi. Basically they are trying to create passions and emotions around this Hindutva identity. That is essentially the core agenda of the work. So the Hindu Mughal Kachhi is trying to whip up a kind of frenzy among the Brahmins that they are being neglected or they are being humiliated or they are being ostracized in the society, and referring to what they call a large scale exodus from Tamil Nadu to other states or to other parts of the world. Now, first of all, we have to see that the Brahmin community is a very small one in Tamil Nadu, unlike some states like UP or Bihar or Maharashtra, where the percentage and some parts of the the cow belt area, the Hindi heartland as we say, it could be somewhere between 12 to 15%. In Tamil Nadu it's very low, it's just around 3%. And what has happened over the years is this so-called exodus is not a recent thing. Even 40, 50 years back, or even from the time of the British Raj, even prior to 1947, the Brahmins were in the forefront of education. So it is always looked upon as they kept education as their exclusive preserve, and that's how the other communities looked at the Brahmins, who prevented them from getting education, from entering the portals of colleges or universities, denied them even basic education. And naturally they got access particularly to the English language, being close to the British, and they were able to get some government jobs, especially clerical jobs, like in the olden days they were all stenographers and typists and so on. So the
majority of the Brahmin community was able to,
because of the education,
get access to education and jobs.
Familiarity with the English language, the British found it easy to work with them and to entrust the work like clerical posts, clerical jobs, virtually like today data entry in the IT sector has replaced that as kind of clerical job. So this Brahmin community, and they were willing to go to other parts of India. One is because they had a linked language like English, and some also picked up Hindi on their own.
But the current charge is the exodus happened because of discrimination.
You can't say that. You can, see, it's a double-edged sword. 30, 40 years back, the cream of education, opportunities and jobs were coming to the Brahmins. What is happening is the IT sector has opened up enormous jobs and opportunities like for others, for the poor community itself. So, if with some basic education, you can be a software entrepreneur, you can pick up from there, and then if you want, you can go for higher studies in computer education, in electronics, and a lot of these fields have opened up. There, many of these people from forward communities have found opportunities in US and Europe and so on, and by virtue of their own work, they have come up. Many of them are doing very well. They are earning millions of dollars, and the lower income groups which are here, their parents, they are largely funded and subsidized now by the children who are abroad and doing well. So the issue of poverty or being a neglected lot is not really affecting them at all. In fact, most of these families from the forward community, Brahmins who are there, especially in major cities like Chennai, Coimbatore, Madurai, Tirchi, Tanjavur and all these places, the parents are here, the children are abroad, even the grandchildren, and they spend their time 6 months with a son or with a daughter in US or Europe.
Do you think the social discrimination is not at all a factor that pushed the forward community to the other parts of India or other countries?
Definitely not in the last 15, 20 years. They are looking for better opportunities, greener pastures. They find, and if they are able to get some assistance, there are families abroad who can provide them accommodation, they can stay with them and they can pursue higher courses. These are all big advantages which are not there 20, 25 years ago. With the IT sector has opened up in such a big way that families are able to support the next generation of children.
So the people who left Tamil Nadu, people who left India for their jobs and for their education, they have improved their economic levels, right?
Absolutely. They are not at all, you cannot talk about them about the poverty. So the issue is, the central government comes up with a scheme to try and tap this Brahmin community, forward community section to woo them. It comes up with a scheme of 10% reservation, right, for saying for the poor, where those are families which are already under reservation like SC, ST and BCs cannot come and claim that. That means it goes only to the forward communities. Now, if you look at it, it's very odd. They put a ceiling of those with income below 8 lakhs per annum. They can qualify for the 10%. There are two ways of looking at it. The poverty index is very, very low, what the government fixes. So 8 lakhs per annum, you can't call them poor by the government's own poverty index, below the poverty line. They are far, far above the poverty line. And 8 lakhs per annum is a good figure for a family. By no way they can consider them poor. Well, you can't call it discrimination. You can say once the quota system came for SCs and STs and backward classes, Tamil Nadu has a reservation of 69%. So the forward community has to clamor from within this open community of 31%, which again is also SCs and STs and BCs can come there on merit. So the margin of seats, the number of seats has shrunk, has come down, and with a lot of competition from BCs and SCs as well for the open community. So when opportunities get limited, you may not get a medical college seat or an engineering college seat as easily as it was some 40, 50 years ago. I am saying there was a situation say 25 years back or 30 years back. But
at that time, even the basic education was not available for the rest of the community.
So, but the SCs, STs and BCs, the argument being put forward, they have a long history of centuries old repression, where they were not allowed to come into education at all, and this was looked upon as an exclusive preserve of this forward community. So they say there's centuries old of record of discrimination against them and of repression and oppression. The Brahmins can't complain now in the change scenario in the last 15, 20 years and complain of discrimination when the SCs and BCs were at the receiving end for more than 200, 300 years. Okay. So, they say that they are not the, they have no locus standi to talk about discrimination.
The protesters said even in the Kollywood industry there is a big discrimination, and they are the caste name of the forward whenever there is a movie that, for example, recently there is a movie called Amaran where it's a biopic of Major Mugant Varadarajan. The protesters said his caste name was not mentioned in the movie, and but the crew, the film, the director and the crew explained, the family told them that Major Mukund Varadarajan always wanted himself to be identified as an Indian and a Tamilian and not by his caste. But the protesters say the caste name should have been mentioned. They say these are all the ways in which Kollywood industry is discriminating against them.
I'll say this, that the film industry should act in a responsible manner and not try to play upon casteist feelings either way, because it can fan hatred, it can promote enmity, it can promote discord among different castes. If you ask me, there is no need for characters to be shown or identified with a particular caste in any movie for that matter.
Sir, Hindu Makkal Katchi leader Arjun Sambat, he says Tamil Nadu has, I am quoting his words, Tamil Nadu has become a state that is deeply influenced by Brahmin hate, with this narrative being propagated from elementary school to graduate school, particularly in the context of a vision of victimhood that favors Dravidian ideology. So, have you come across any state-sponsored hate activities like this, what he has mentioned?
About 40 years back, 50, the DK was very Dravida Kazhagam was the parent organization of the DMK, later the ADMK or MDMK, DMDK, whatever organization you call. At one point of time, there was a lot of heat and tension in the Dravida Kazhagam activities, which are largely targeted at Hinduism, because as far as they are concerned, they see these Hindu overlords as being symbols of repression, who have denied them education, who denied them opportunities.
But do you think there were any state-sponsored, the government-sponsored initiatives?
No, there is no question of government sponsoring initiative. Government is sponsoring the quota system. They are supporting the quota system, which is for the SCs, STs and BCs. The forward community is outside the quota system. So, the forward community will see this quota system as being against them.
No, he talks about the hate,
Spreading
hate.
That's what I'm coming to. So the forward community will see the quota system as being against them. Those coming under the quota system or benefiting by that or trying to come up through that system will see the forward community as opposing them. Okay. So, by this positioning, what's happening, because of the quota system, Brahmins are no longer the issue or instruments of oppression, because not in power, they are not in any position of influence, they are not in any position to hand out discriminatory treatment through the state, as you say, through the government or anything. They are not at all in power or seats of influence. So, they are nowhere, they have been marginalized. Okay, they are, one section has even gone abroad for studies, as we have noticed in the past. So, but to some extent Brahmin baiting continues to be there, because there are certain Western interests as well in the reservation system, which will manifest itself in some outbursts or some hate speeches, and then there will be retort from the Hindu organizations on the other side. So, hate speeches are there from both sides. No, there is no such thing as Brahmin hatred. That's a wrong word to be used, but that's being used deliberately to whip up feelings among the Brahmin community and trying to increase their support base among the Brahmin community, because of this competition, this rat race that is going on between Hindu Makkal Katchi and BJP and RSS for support from within the Brahmin community. That is the reason why this Hindu Makkal Katchi is trying to indulge in one-upmanship.
Sir, during the protest, there was a demand from the speakers. They said there should be a legal protection of Civil Rights Act, PCR Act, similar to Dalits. So they demand, they seek legal protection.
No, it is simply out of question.
How serious is this?
No, it is simply out of question, because you can't equate that. You can see, even now there are parts of the country where you have the two tumbler system in a tea shop. A Dalit still in some parts of the country cannot wear an upper garment. Places where Dalits still cannot walk with the chappals or shoes on. There are still separate burial grounds for people for other castes and for SCs and STs even today. There are still places in the country where the Dalits cannot walk through certain streets in that area. May not be in a big city or a big town, but in most of the semi-urban and villages, this practice is still there. So, to a large extent, the question of untouchability and issues which affected SCs and STs may have come down to a large extent. Such a legal protection is not at all required for the Brahmin community, because they are not subjected to that kind of ostracization or humiliation or repression from the other communities as far as the average life is concerned.